What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to another Casual Nerd. So, I have to explain something. I have an addiction. I don't know why I just said it like that. It really is coming out. I have an addiction, of strawberry ramyun. Now, the really bad part about this DSLR is that it doesn't autofocus, so I can't put it up, so hopefully you guys can see it from here. Not sponsored, wish I were. Today we have some good topics. We're really diving into the nitty gritty of the business side of a lot of things, so I'm really excited for you guys to see these topics. Again, drink every time I say topics. And we're gonna be going into some PS5 news first. Now, as you guys can see by the header, autocorrect, don't attack my mouth this time. Thanks, bitch. So as you guys can see by the header above me, it states here that PS5 redesign reportedly coming, but it probably won't change the look. A new report suggests that the PS5's internal could get tweaked in 2022. So it states here in the article that the PlayStation 5 could get a redesign within the next year or so, but it likely will be limited to its internal architecture rather than a substantial change like we've seen from slim versions of past consoles. Due to the global semiconductor shortage, the PS5 CPU might get swapped to help scale up production. The potential redesign was originally reported by Taiwanese outlet Digitime, which suggests that the semiconductor foundries are already preparing for the new PS5 architecture and targeting 2022 for production. As relayed by Dr. Sirkin Toto on Twitter, Digitimes reported that Sony is aiming for a new semi-customized 6nm CPU chip from AMD. I think this is really cool, and I'm wondering how gameplay is going to work now that people are going to have a different type of console than they already bought before. So the people who already bought the console this year are getting a completely different console, if you think about it, than people who buy it after 2022. Fascinating. I think it's really cool that Sony is updating their hardware constantly. They're trying to improve it, make it better, make it more, manageable, playable for people. And wouldn't it be funny if this reason that they explained here in this article was why Cyberpunk didn't work? I don't know. It was just a thought that came to my head. So next up is some Resident Evil news, and it states here in the header, as you guys can see, that Resident Evil Village eased up on tension curve after players found RE7 too scary. Now, me, being the non-scaredy cat that I am, Resident Evil 7 was scary? Since when? But that's just me. I know so many people actually found it legitimately scary, and it was anxiety inducing at points, I'm not gonna lie, but scary? Come on. It says in the subheader actually that Capcom said the horror in the previous game could be too much for some players to push through. And it's interesting. I can't believe I'm actually going to admit this on camera, but I'm a bit of a horror snob when it comes down to it, right? So for me personally, I've learned that there's nothing to be afraid of whenever it comes to horror games. I've even explained this in several videos of where you have to break it down mentally and ask yourself, why are you afraid of this? Why is this bringing you fear? Why is it genuinely absolutely bringing terror in your mind? You have to really break it down and analyze these points. And for me, I found out that people are just genuinely afraid of horror games. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It just is what it is, basically, and that's okay. Like a friend of mine who also is a streamer, she can't stand horror games. She pushes herself with a lot of different things that she plays, but it's not her cup of tea, it's not her Red Bull, it's not her coffee. She just does not like horror games. I completely respect that. And it's so fascinating too, because there's some people who I talk to who they'll actually love horror movies, but they won't like horror games, which I think is fascinating. I think it's because you're playing the horror game, but instead of, it being a movie where you're just watching the movie, you're not playing the movie, if that makes sense. So it states here in the article that Resident Evil Village is a horror game at heart, and it builds on the return to the classic, slower-moving horror of Resident Evil 7 that was also a signature of the early games. However, Capcom took a slightly different approach to how it handled scares this time, as it didn't want to overwhelm the player with terror like it sometimes did in Resident Evil 7. After all, what good is having scares if people quit before they see them? Speaking to Axios, producer Tasuyo Kanada said Capcom received Resident Evil 7 feedback, and some players felt it was actually too scary. Scary is obviously the goal in horror, but if it means players don't want to keep playing it for fear of an unexpected bowel movement. In one regard, that's exactly what we're striving for, so it's a huge compliment for us, he said. But at the same time, it's always a goal to create something something that everyone can feel comfortable jumping in and playing, so we eased up on the tension curve in RE Village relative to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, so players aren't in constant fear. That constant fear was especially noticeable during the earlier portions of RE7, which we found Ethan Winters chased through a large house by a terrifying family member. These moments weren't always scripted, requiring constant vigilance as players tried to unlock doors and progress through the story further. Similar moments appeared in 2 recent remake games, with Nemesis and Mr. X, who would routinely track you down and force a quick-thinking escape, avoid death. Now, I don't know about you, but I loved Mr. X. Okay, Mr. X is bae. Mr. X is life. I don't care what anybody says about him. He is bae. Okay, Mr. X is an amazing character. The thing is that I've seen so many people comparing Lady Dimitrescu to Mr. X. Non-comparable. Cannot be compared at all whatsoever. I feel like Mr. X, with his silence and with his, leather-based swag, if you will, he has the ability to cause fear-inducing anxiety for some people. I just thought the character and mechanisms were cool that he was using. So whenever I would encounter this character, I would be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And I genuinely felt anxiety whenever I was encountering this character. But with Lady D, I was like, ooh, mommy. Okay, actually, no. In all seriousness, I was more like, oh my gosh, I love the lines that this character was given. I love this. I love that. I love everything about this character. But it wasn't terrifying or anxiety-inducing the way Mr. X was. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. So next up is some Call of Duty. Warzone has now banned over 500,000 cheaters. Good for them. I don't play Call of Duty. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I really never have been. I think I only played it once at a friend's house, and it was absolutely the most boring thing I ever played. Ever. I've seen some of the fans of Call of Duty. Some of them are nice. Some of them are really good people, but some of them have me questioning humanity just a smidgen. So it states here in the article that Call of Duty Warzone co-developer Raven Software has revealed that over 500,000 cheaters have been banned from the Battle Royale servers. In a recent tweet from the studio's official social media channel, Raven said that after banning over 30,000 malicious accounts, on May 13th, that brings the total to the number over 500,000 accounts. Many of the responses to this tweet are complaining about the bans, most of which insist they've done nothing wrong and were only banned because an unscrupulous player had hijacked their accounts. And it says in a tweet here, banned over 30,000 malicious accounts across Call of Duty yesterday, bringing us to over 500,000 accounts banned in #Warzone. It's funny, isn't it? The fact of the matter is that when you ban accounts, you're literally banning that person from playing the game ever again. So when I look at this, I see oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yes, go queen. Like, you're banning accounts. You're actually doing the right thing that you're supposed to do for the community. But on the other hand, there could have been accounts that could have been hijacked, that could have been, just hacked accounts in general that the person who is the main owner of the account couldn't get hold of, and now they're screwed. But good for them. I don't know a lot about Call of Duty. I know a little bit for the research that I've done for the games, but that's about it. And besides what my friends tell me, obviously, about Call of Duty, how it's like, it's so totally awesome, man. They don't talk like that. It's just anytime that I picture a Call of Duty player who is just, playing and calling people noobs and just saying, yeah, bro, what's going on? It's totally awesome, bro. Now, in the next article we're going to go into, it's Sony, and the CEO has apologized over the slow rate PlayStation 5 production, but more on the way, following reports that more are coming to Target this week. So if you guys want to get a PlayStation, be sure to contact your Target early, hold one aside. That's what I do for actually all my games, or any console that I want early. I make sure that if I'm going to the store, I have it already there, ready to pick up. But it continues on, stating in the article that the 5th generation of the gaming console has been incredibly popular since its launch in November, when 7.8 million people managed to get their hands on one. Speaking to Wired, Jim Ryan, the chief executive officer of Sony Interactive Entertainment, said that the production was about to start ramping up. Mr. Ryan told the Tech magazine, "We see production ramping up over the summer and certainly into the second half of the year, and we would hope to see some sort of return to normality in terms of balance between supply and demand during this period." The good side is that they sold out. The bad side is that we couldn't get our hands on any PlayStation 5s at all. And you know, it's funny because it's like I see so many people trying to get their hands on one. It's so sad because it's like they have the accessories, you know, ready, like the controllers, you know, like the VR, all that kind of stuff for, you know, the PS4 and the PS5, but not the actual console. And it breaks my heart to see that. Because I went to Walmart a few days ago and I was just seeing everything there and I was like, oh no, where's the console? And lastly, for gaming news today, Cyberpunk 2077 DLC could be a big opportunity to win back fans, and it states in the subheader that in spite of all the controversy surrounding the game, CD Projekt Red might be able to win back fans with the upcoming free Cyberpunk 2077 DLC, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited about it. Now it goes into the main part of the article by stating, while Cyberpunk 2077 Studios CD Projekt Red managed to deliver on some of its promises, the list of features cut from the game arguably far outweighed the ones that made it in. The studio promised that all future updates in the DLC would be made free to make up for the launch issues, which means the game's first free expansion is going to need to go big. CD Projekt Red has seen one controversy after the next since the release, but the upcoming DLC might be the studio's chance to win back the public perception. I'm just excited about this. Like, I am a firm supporter of CD Projekt Red. Yes, a lot of the stuff that they did was not the best. I got into that in a full-on podcast with my co-host Shass. The thing is that I have so much respect for how CD Projekt Red has been able to handle themselves during this time and during everything that's been going on for this company. So, mad respect to them, seriously. But you guys, that was it for this episode of The Casual Nerd. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Also, I have a Patreon, so if you guys want to support the channel and me and what I do, please be sure to hit up the link down in the description below for that Patreon. I have tiers ranging from $1 to $40. So yeah, there's a lot of content there. There's a lot that you guys can sign up for, especially early access to the videos that I post here on YouTube. Now, I'm really excited about doing this. This is a new tier that I posted, as well as putting up all of my music, you know, some beats and everything like that. I actually just made that tier for the music today. So, I'm really excited about that. As usual, stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.